Primo, eu nunca imaginei subir a rampa. Eu tô subindo a rampa, primo. Olha que coisa mais linda, primo. Olha isso, primo, olha isso. Olha isso, primo. Olha isso. Olha isso. Muita gente lá fora, pessoal. A polícia não conseguiu conter o povo. Não conseguiu conter o povo. Quebraram as janelas, quebraram tudo. Entraram dentro da casa, quebraram tudo. É nosso!
Quer saber, liga o botão aqui.
Senador, aqui a mesa da tela.
Eu tô substituindo.
É com novo dinheiro. Esse aqui é um ladrão.
Espia aí, ó. Espia aí onde é que nós tá. Espia aí.
Completamente destruído. Olha isso. Chovendo aqui dentro. Ó. Uma destruição em todos os andares. Vou tentar subir aqui, caralho, tá um cheiro de pimenta muito forte.
Eu sou criança.
Ó, nós estamos no palácio aqui, ó. Ó, graças a Deus, spray de pimenta. Mas eu consegui aqui fora. Ó, o pessoal ali, ó. Ó.
What you just saw are images of an insurrection attempt in Brazil, wherein supporters of far-right former President Jair Bolsonaro are currently ransacking a number of federal buildings and institutions, including the Presidential Palace, the Supreme Court, and the National Congress. The storming of these buildings comes a week after left-wing President Lula was sworn in amid baseless claims of a stolen election from Bolsonaro. Thousand-pound elephant in the room here, does all of this look and sound familiar? Brazil is, at this very moment, contending with its own January 6th, just 2 days after the 2-year anniversary of January 6th in the United States. According to reporting, President Lula is not in Brasilia, the city, so his life isn't in danger, and Congress isn't currently in session. Lula's transition team, however, was in the building, and according to the latest reporting, they were waiting to be airlifted out of that building. Meanwhile, Jair Bolsonaro is currently in the United States, where he came to avoid attending Lula's swearing in, and I will give you exactly one guess as to which state he's in right now. I'm not even going to say which one, because the one you're thinking is absolutely correct. And look, I can't go into much detail on the Brazil side of things because I'm not an expert on Brazilian politics and because everything is unfolding right now. But I will offer that I hope, for the sake of Brazil's democracy, that every single one of these criminals, insurrectionists, and traitors are punished to the fullest extent of the law. Not just as retribution for what they're doing today, but as a message to the next band of far-right insurrectionists, wherever they live in this world, that you will not get what you're aiming for, but that you'll rot in a prison instead. But on the American side of things, first of all, pretty amazing to see that, thanks to Donald Trump and the modern Republican Party, our biggest export is no longer democracy, which, yes, I understand is a generous interpretation to begin with. It's now election denialism. Let's be crystal clear here, there would be no January 8th in Brazil without January 6th in the United States. Trump and his supporters have given a playbook to the autocrats of the world to try and undermine free and fair elections when they don't get their way. This man and his enablers have objectively made the world a more dangerous, less democratic place. So I hope that Republicans are watching what's happening right now in Brazil and recognize that their feckless inability to condemn Trump for January 6th, not to mention complicity in his scheme, has allowed far-right insurrectionism to spread across the world. I hope they know that with their desperate little effort to coddle Trump and humor his election theft scheme, their legacy is to enable other insurrections across the world. Will they care? Probably not. Should this be a mark of shame that history won't forget? Abso-fucking-lutely. And by the way, if you thought that any of this was an accident or merely a coincidence, think again. Bolsonaro is being advised by Steve Bannon and Stephen Miller. The same architects of the last insurrection are using the exact same tactics now. Bolsonaro's son met with Trump at Mar-a-Lago, spoke with Bannon on the phone while Bannon was in Arizona helping Kerry Lake, another election denier here in the US. He met with Trump campaign spokesman Jason Miller. For the umpteenth time, these people are as disgusting as they are predictable. I should note too that the fact that it's been 2 full years since the insurrection here in the US and we've still yet to see any accountability from law enforcement or the Attorney General is probably a big reason why so many of these pro-insurrection factions feel so confident in what they're doing. I said this then and I'll repeat it now. Failing to hold criminals accountable for their crimes will only serve to embolden them further next time. That's what we're seeing play out right now. We've witnessed the biggest crime against the US government in modern American history on January 6th. It's been 2 years, and far from Trump being held accountable, the guy is currently running again for president in 2024. The failure of our Justice Department to move quickly and decisively on this issue against the people responsible for the insurrection is the precise reason why they're out there planning these things in other places now too. And yes, there have been hundreds of insurrectionists who've been charged and sentenced, but what about those responsible? Those people know that they can always find idiot marks to do their bidding, and until there's accountability for them, these kinds of insurrections will continue. So I hope that law enforcement in Brazil gets a handle on what happened today. I hope they hold those people accountable for the damage that they've done, and I hope they take swift and decisive action against those responsible for the events of today. Brazil can do what the US didn't and send a message to the next anti-democratic forces that the only thing you'll accomplish with this kind of violence is a prison sentence and nothing more. Before you go, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. You can click the thumbnail right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work even further, the best way is to subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. There you can check out my interviews with major players in the world of politics, including President Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Elizabeth Warren, Katie Porter, Jamie Raskin, and so many more. Plus other interviews that live exclusively on the podcast. That link is also right here on this screen, or just search No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen wherever you listen to podcasts.